You know, it's funny how something can just grab you and stay with you your whole life. Through the good times and the bad times. One series of video games has always been with me, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog. With over 25 years of games going through many changes, some good, some not so good. Regardless, I'm still a fan. Starting with my Sega Genesis copy of Sonic 2, this series kept me engaged. But why? Why is this franchise more important than any other? Well, to find the answer to that, let's start at the very beginning. Sonic the Hedgehog for Sega Genesis. Sonic is a platformer where the main mechanic is his speed and movement, while Mario feels more like an obstacle course with someone just placing blocks down for you to jump over. Sonic's levels feel like an actual environment, with lush landscapes and varied surroundings. Many of the levels have multiple paths leading to a goal, which lends itself for multiple playthroughs trying to get the best path through a level. Starting off in the Green Hill Zone, you learn the basics of controlling Sonic, how to use the level's natural hills to help gain speed, how Sonic feels. The gameplay is like a stream of water, there is a certain flow to it, and that flow just stops in the Marble Zone. While there are some small outside segments, the grand majority of the level takes place underground in small confined ruins. There are these agonizing moving block sections where all you do is stand on a block until it stops moving. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called riveting gameplay. I mean, to be fair, there are platforms in the way of the block that you have to jump over, and you're also suspended over lava, and everything's more exciting over lava. The Spring Yard Zone is basically a giant pinball machine, just without the flippers. So as a pinball table, it kinda sucks. But at least there are giant balls of steel. Although, at times the bumpers do get a bit much. The Labyrinth Zone. You know, this has to be the absolute worst level in this game. Remember when I said, Sonic is a platformer where the main mechanic is his speed and movement? Well, take your movement speed and make it extremely shitty, and as fun as jamming nails into my eye. You move so slowly underwater, and about 80% of all 3 acts are underwater. The rest of the time you spend moving around small caverns with robots jumping out at you. And if the water just wasn't enough, Sonic needs air so he doesn't drown. While there are air bubble dispensers throughout the levels, if you don't want to take a chance and drown, you pretty much have to stop at every single bubble. That, of course, turns an already slow level into an agonizing game of stop and go. The boss fight against Dr. Robotnik, while unique compared to the others, puts all Labyrinth Zone's problems into a small, confined race to the top. If that wasn't bad enough, water starts to rise, completely submerging you in the path. Right here is where many playthroughs of mine ended, and again, it's most likely because I suck. Wait a minute, I forgot to talk about the boss fights! Okay, so each zone is broken into 3 different acts, and at the end of the 3rd act you encounter a boss fight with Dr. Robotnik. These fights are very simplistic, in that you pretty much just stand around until you open himself up for an attack. I feel Robotnik using different machines, there could have been more done with it than what the game presented. So, after the hellhole that was Labyrinth Zone, Starlight Zone is a much needed breath of fresh air. With many loop-de-loops and seesaws, this zone is a blast to play through. The only bad thing I have to say is that sometimes there is some dickish enemy placement. At this point, there seems to be a pattern between these zones. Green Hill Zone is fast, while Marble Zone is slow. Spring Yard Zone is fast, while Labyrinth Zone is Vaporwave slow. And Starlight Zone is more fast-paced, while the last zone, Scrap Brain Zone, is of course slower. This final zone is no joke when it comes to obstacles. Between fire, electricity, pistons, bouncing balls, because this game sure loves its balls, rotating platforms, and saws, this level is out to kill you. At times though, it feels like you're just moving from one obstacle to another. At the end of the 2nd act, you meet a Robotnik, but he trapped us behind a wall and puts the drop on us. We fall into... oh no. Oh my god. Labyrinth Zone? Again? Are you kidding me? A 4th act? Why does this zone hate me so much? To be honest, this act is not nearly as bad because it's pretty short and you can take a shortcut, but still. Did we really need a 4th act at this level? So now it's time for the final battle. The final boss is upon us. The final destination. The final countdown's begun. The final zone in Sonic the Hedgehog is called... Final Zone? Very great name there, guys. Unfortunately, this zone is literally just a boss fight, and it's pretty dull. All Dr. Robotnik does is randomly switch between one of 4 pistons, and in between him trying to crush you, 4 electric balls come down and try to hit you. And you can pretty easily dodge everything by just staying on the right side of the screen. And that is Sonic 1. Now, it may sound like I spend a lot of my time bitching about every little thing, but I really do enjoy this game. There's more good things than bad things, like for instance the way Sonic controls is just fantastic, it really is. Or the music, my god! The music is amazing, just high quality stuff. And the graphics have that timeless quality to them that no matter how many years pass by, the art style still holds up. So anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog for the Sega Genesis is a great game. It was a great game in 1991, it's still a great game in 2017. However, I do feel the sequels for the Genesis are better, but that's just because this game built such a solid foundation that those games just improved upon it. With that being said, this game is available on pretty much every platform under the sun. It's on PCs, it's on consoles, hell, it's even on phones. So don't believe those who say this game was trash, that Sonic was never good. This game is fun, and you should play it for yourself. With that being said, my name is Steven Duda, and thank you for watching. Oh, shit. I forgot to mention the special stages. Okay, so... At the end of an act, if you have 50 rings or more, a giant floating ring will be there, and if you jump into it, you get sent to the special stage. Basically, it's a level that constantly rotates and you have to navigate to the Chaos Emerald, but the levels have these gold blocks that ended prematurely, making you miss the Emerald, not allowing you the good ending. But really, the emeralds don't do anything until the next game, so it's not a big deal. Oh, and there's fish in the background of some of these levels? I don't get it either. Someone at SEGA must have been hitting the acid again.